Everyone, um, put yourselves in the shoes of a 39-year-old Filipino woman sitting in the waiting room of a hospital, not bothering anyone, most likely scrolling through Instagram, until you hear all you Chinese people sing, "Go have a shower." You look up to see a couple in front of you covering their noses to mock you. All you have in reply is to sit and wait without any confrontation, because if you were to confront them, you most likely would be fighting a fight without a favourable outcome. This woman was my mother, a loving wife, a caring mother, and a loyal friend, just to be described as a stinky Chinese woman. Instead of getting upset, my mother laughed. She laughed because she knew that she wasn't stinky, nor was she Chinese. She knew at the end of the day she would go home to a roof over her head, a family, and a home. That was enough to know that she was worth it. Sadly, millions of people must suffer comments and actions being placed against them and dangled in their face every day. Most continue on and ignore it. Some fight it and confront it. This usually ends in a negative outcome. Even with the people that choose to ignore it, the chickens come home to roost, and they will eventually be eaten up inside by these egregious racist actions. No sugarcoating it. Racism is racism. Here's another scenario for you. You're a 15-year-old Filipino boy walking down the street. Mask mandates have just been lifted. No one in the street is wearing masks except a select few. This is when two little boys, no older than 7 or 8, stop and say, "You started this virus, put your mask on." You turn to their parents, but all you get is a blank expression on their faces. This was me. Those little kids never meant it. It was taught to them. No one is ever born racist, be it from the media, parents or friends. Racism is never natural, it is taught. The sooner that we realise this, the better. As of recent, racism has been more rampant than ever. Between COVID-19 to the Black Lives Matter movement, racism has been an increasing trend. Especially as a Filipino myself, which I am to be considered within the Asian community. Ever since COVID-19 has begun, Asian hate has been an increase as people are always looking for someone to blame. This is not a new concept. This has been a trend throughout history. The Muslims were blamed for the September 11th attacks. The Jewish people were blamed for the fall of Germany in World War I. And now Asians are being blamed for COVID-19. The sad part is my grandmother died of COVID-19. When I came back to school, after going home upon the time of her death, I had found out there had been a running joke made that she ate a bat and that's why she got COVID and died. Imagine that, coming back to find out that people had been poking fun at the pain and suffering of an elderly woman that was your grandmother. To tell you how difficult it was not to get worked up about it, to tell you how hard it was not to be angry is indescribable. Over 7.5 million people in Australia were born overseas. More are of foreign descent. Millions of people do not deserve to smile and call it a day when they are on the receiving end of racism. Most, if not all, are grateful to be in this wonderful country. I'm so grateful, in fact, that my mother and I are becoming Australian citizens in the very near future, just completing our citizenship interview. And in the immortal words of Martin Luther King, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Thank you.